Hey everyone, it's Nick with Us versus Herd. Thanks for joining today. Hope you're doing great today. Today I want to start something called the UVH Friday Family Chat. And what this is just kind of a regrouping. I want to bring everyone together. This is just a regroup of what happened this week, kind of go through the trades. And if you're not yet a subscriber, hit that subscribe link below. Hit the subscribe button because you'll get these alerts when we go live. And if you're not yet part of our options trading group, there's a link below as well. It's free to join. We post in there pretty much every day. A lot of people have been pretty active on there, and we've pretty much doubled in size in the last week, so definitely very happy about that. Thanks for all those that have already joined and contributing. The community and the UVH family is getting bigger and bigger every day. But what I want to kind of go through today is a recap of this week. A lot of things were happening. Hey Jeff, what's going on? And if you have questions, this is kind of the family chat kind of atmosphere. I want everyone to, if you have questions, feel free to ask questions as we're going through here. We're just going to be, it's real chill. We're just going to be talking about the market, some of my trades that I did this week, and just kind of go through things and see where we made money, see where we lost money, and just kind of strategy of it all. But I think what is the most important thing right now that people want to know is like, hey, are we going to crash? I mean, we're ripping all new highs here. Things are going crazy, and we'll pull up SPX here. And I'm all over the place. We'll pull up SPX here. So SPX, if you're not familiar, tracks the S&P 500 index. We just broke through some all new highs here, but as you can see here back in January, we also ripped up here, and people are concerned because, hey, are we going to crash? Because this is a potential double top. I mean, we're right back where we were back in February, and we weren't really, or January per se, at the end of January, and we weren't really concerned really what was going on here in 2017. In 2017, I don't know if you're trading or if you're new to trading, but the stock market ripped up pretty much every day, and then one day it just didn't. And people panicked, people lost money, people panic sold, people, this was the biggest crash in years. And the question is, are we at the top here? Are we gonna have some pushback? And at the end of the day, nobody knows, but I would say there's definitely things to be cautious about. We are back here at the point we were sold, so it's a potential double top. It hasn't happened yet. There's no confirmation, but it hasn't pushed through yet either. I mean, today was a pretty green day. I mean, we had the S&P's up 18, Dow's up 120, Nasdaq was up 71. I mean, it was a good day. It was kind of a slow grind day, but the one thing that I would be concerned about is some of the things here that are going on in the news. I mean, the Fed minutes saying they're going to raise rates. That's nothing really to be concerned about. We knew they were going to raise rates anyways. However, there is talk of impeachment. Things are coming down politically that, I mean, you don't know. So you just got to trade with caution. One of the things that I've been doing, I've been putting on a lot of strangles lately, mainly because I'm not sure which way the market's going to go sometimes. I mean, the two strangles that I put on the last couple of days, I made some good money. They were on Alibaba, but I made money on the put side, not the call side, which, I mean, they had earnings and stuff like that, so that kind of skews things. But the one thing that I would look out for here is, and I know that S&P broke out here, but if you look at the Dow here, from the point we crashed, the Dow is not approaching new all-time highs, just the S&P right now. The Dow is not it's still kind of streamlining. We're trying to get to this, it's right back here at this 25,770-ish area, somewhere around here. And the last time that hit this, it kind of crashed a little bit here. Not terrible, but enough to make a dent, enough to make you think. There's definitely, I wouldn't go, for me personally, of course, this is my opinion. I'm not going full on bull right now, especially when we're potentially hitting these tops here. So S&P's potential double top right here. I mean, this is a potential resistance right here on the Dow. The only glimmer of hope is the Nasdaq. The Nasdaq. So if we go back into January, the end of January when we crashed the last time, we're well above those highs. We're about almost 100 points. Let's see here. We're up, no, sorry, 400 points, almost 500 points here on these on the NASDAQ. So the NASDAQ broke through resistance a long time ago and has been going up, and it did have some down days back here that were pretty bad, but nothing too crazy. What do I think about TradeNet? I'm not sure what TradeNet is. I haven't heard of it. The NASDAQ here is just ripping. So, I mostly trade SPX, so I mostly look at this in terms of my trades. I mean, everyone's different. I trade the S&P a lot, SPY, SPX, but I also I don't trade like NASDAQ or anything, but I do trade a lot of tech-heavy stocks, such as Apple, Baba, a lot of those things. And the strategy that I've been doing, so I really like to sell premium and selling premium, but the premium has been getting sucked out because we've been going up here. And Apple had a crazy rip here, and we caught some of this a couple weeks ago, but it's kind of leveling out here. It's hard to say if it's going to level out here, the 215 area. I mean, today it went down. I actually had a strangle that didn't work out. Apple was really just stayed the same today. They really just killed premium in this, and I mostly am a premium seller, but the premium hasn't been there. The moves have been there. Like, these have been huge moves, and the IV has been super low. So that's why I've been kind of buying strangles and working it that way. I am short some Tesla. I'm short a Tesla vertical call spread right now. I think I'm down like 30-35 bucks on it because Tesla went up. But even like IV's getting crushed. So when IV was up, I put the position on. However, it's kind of going against me here. But IV is coming down, so that's definitely helping me out a little bit in minimizing my losses there. Earlier this week, I made some money on Netflix, and Netflix has been pretty crazy. All-time highs held this time, but it didn't bust through. I don't know if you were here in the beginning, but someone said all-time highs held this time, but it didn't bust through the top. So I'm still waiting for that. So I'm going to be leaning on both sides right now, I think, just for me personally. We went from Netflix. Made some money on this on Monday, and I wish I would have traded that today instead of Apple. I traded Apple. Apple did nothing, and Netflix, they got an upgrade, and they went all day long. So I'll be looking at a position on this probably on Monday. Seeing what we can do, long or short, not sure yet. Seems like it wants to go up. Up here, if we break above 270, could be a nice run up here to 370, up here to the 400s. I mean, things are going to get crazy. If you're just joining us right now, we're doing the UVH family chat, so feel free to ask questions. I'm just going through some of my trades and what my thoughts are for this week. So yeah, he said that the all-time highs held this time, but I think I talked about it earlier. It's here. I'd really like to see it bust through the top, hitting 2,900 or above, 3,000. That would be insane. So if we get to 3,000 this year, if we don't, if we have a repeat of 2015, we're kind of going sideways right here. I've compared this year a lot to 2015, mainly because let's try to go back to. We'll go back 4 years here. Okay, so we're going to go 2015 here. 2015 we really were sideways. It started the year at like 2,000, ended the year like at 2,060. But there's a lot of momentum. There's a lot of two-sided actions here. This was definitely a lot easier to trade than up every day. And I think that in terms of like the one thing that I didn't do that I'm starting to do this time is hedging my positions a little bit more because of the crash last time. So we went up, let's do the 2-year chart. we were going up all of 2017. We were going up, and I had short positions on, and they made zero money. I lost money on that, and then you just eventually, you just switch to full on long, and then the one thing is that luckily during this huge drop here, I wasn't like full and deep. You always got to manage your risk. You can't just put your whole account on the line, even because it's going to go up every day, because one day it won't. And this day, the day that it didn't, it came. So, like I said before, you have to have money in your account. If the positions go against you, don't scare me, bro. I got MU and QQQ contracts. I'm not trying to scare you. I'm just trying to point out some observations of where to manage your risk, and kind of how I'm managing my risk right now, because on this last crash, a lot of people got wiped out, and I don't want that to be any of you guys. I mean, you definitely don't want to get wiped out. Like, don't put your whole account on the line over a couple of days of trades. The one thing that I will say is, I did lose some money in this. I think overall I was down about $500, which is not bad considering the amount of capital that I had in the market at the time. But the one thing, the saving grace that is, I day traded these bars right here. I day traded those bars and got a lot of the money back that those long positions went against. So there was definitely some money to be had. The only thing is, during this time frame, as you can see down here in this chart, the screen chart, if you don't know, the screen chart below is IV rank. The IV rank really jacked up. So options were super expensive. So you had to open and close stuff. If you were buying premium, you had to open and close stuff right away. If you were short premium, I mean, like Amazon and stuff were having 100 point swings, 200 point swings. The Dow was down 1,000 points within a day or two. I mean, so you got to be careful. I definitely, if you're a new trader, I definitely wouldn't recommend going in on this right here, because you're gonna lose your shirt here, and definitely some very scary things. So that's kind of why I was pointing this out. But as I said before, if any of you guys missed this, the Nasdaq already, let's tighten this up here. Nasdaq already busted through new highs. We're still at the, back in January, and then Dow hasn't even hit them yet. So I know one thing that's holding them back is like some of the banks and stuff. So if you look at GS, Goldman Sachs, I mean, it hasn't recovered at all. I mean, right now I do think, like, for the market, it's undervalued, and we're having rising interest rates, so these guys are going to be making some bank. But right now it's really, it's really going nowhere. It's back in the range where it started this year, back in the 230s, 220s. So, that's kind of the thing. So that's how I manage my risk. That's kind of some thoughts on the market. Definitely keep an eye out for things that are going on in the news. Now, I know that headlines are just headlines, but at this point in time, I'm hedging myself, and kind of, I don't care which way the market goes. I just want to have a good position on, and the way to do that is you can't just buy strangles and buy premium and do all this stuff, because you may not be getting the best price. You have to understand where the option pricing comes in at. Are you getting a good deal? If it goes against you, how are you going to recover? Always have an exit strategy. Always have an entry strategy. So just because you get in the trade, just don't say, hey, I want to make 100% and get out. And what if it's at 50%? Are you going to take profits if it's really struggling? There's some people that make 1,000% on some of the AMD calls and stuff. Stuff like this. When you see a chart like this, like, don't get greedy with it. Like, this is, as you can tell, days like this don't happen all the time. Like, this doesn't happen. And he said he has MU calls. What's going on with MU? Yeah, I don't know. Looks kind of like a downtrend to me. But things like this don't happen all the time. Take profits. And the one thing that I tell myself is, hey, you can always get back in the position or get another position if you want. But taking money off the table, you're lowering your risk, and you're fattening your account up. So you'll have more money to trade with. You're going to lower your risk. And let's say on AMD right here, let's say something terrible happened in the news, or some, politically wise, like, who knows? And this tanks back to 20. You're going to be pissed that you lost all those gains. You're going to be pissed. So, that's all I'm saying is take profits on the table. I mean, it went up every day, and it went up huge. I mean, this is up, what, 30%? let's see, let's track what AMD is up in the last 3 weeks. Yeah, 30%. Last 3 weeks is up 30% right here. And most of that was just in these couple days here. So, take your profits, re-enter, find a new position. There's going to be, there's plenty of trades to go around. You can always find another trade. You don't have to be locked into that one trade. One of the things that I was telling myself, like when I was starting out, I was like, oh, this is it. And then the position goes against you, you lose your gains, or you even have to pay back money into the market, which is like the worst thing ever. So, at this point in time, I'm taking profits immediately. If I'm making 100%, I'm taking profits off there, and then on my short positions, on my short calls, on my short puts, vertical put spreads, vertical call spreads. I'm not going to get greedy. If I don't get the 50% mark, I like to hit 50%. But if I don't get the 50% mark, I'm taking those gains off at 40 or 30%. Profit's profit, and as you can see in the market, like it could go either way. So, I'm really trying to, on Fridays, I'm really trying to have a family chat. I want to thank you guys all for participating. If you watch this video late, leave your comments below. Would love to hear what you think. Love to hear what some of your trades were this week. Every Friday we'll try to wrap up something like this and get people engaged. I definitely want to meet everybody. If you haven't yet joined, hit our Facebook options trading group. It's free. Link is below. Appreciate you guys. Have a good weekend. I'll be talking to you guys on Monday.